All right. How we doing? Welcome back to another Wednesday Irish Dance live stream. Yeah, it's still not the most creative live stream title, but we're rolling with it and doing this every Wednesday, I think, or at least for now. Wednesday hangouts. We just talk about the dance, talk about what's going on. Yeah, do some dancing, answer your questions, and have a little bit of fun. So yeah, welcome. How we doing, Jackson? Doing well, my man. All right, welcome back. I got my tea. I got my space. We've got dance floor space. Good to go. We're ready to go. Oh, how can I prove my? Still have that up from last week. I have not gotten my mic replaced, so you may have noticed I don't have my mic on me. I don't yet, and it's yeah. I'm upset by it. It's taken a little bit longer to get the old replacement, so yeah, it's so it was a little like wireless mic, and I used that to talk. So then, if I went to the stage or I was here, you could just hear me very consistently, but it broke, so I had to send that in to get replaced, and it's taking a lot longer than I expected. So we just have the computer microphone for now. So hopefully you can hear me nice and clearly, and then hopefully you can still hear me when I go over to the stage, because the computer is not too far away. It's just right there. So yeah. Hope you're all doing well. Having a nice, lovely Wednesday. Good evening, good afternoon, or good night, wherever you're from, or wherever you're tuning in from. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Got my tea ready. It has been a nice, relaxing start of the week for me, at least. We got. I was in Nebraska over the weekend, working with some Irish dancers out there. Came home and had a nice little relaxing time. Yeah. All right. We're gonna hold out and see if people tune in or not. This might be a short live stream. How are you guys doing? You guys here? So last live stream we went for like 2 hours because we were just doing the chats, we were answering questions, we were doing the dance, all that stuff. Yeah, this might be a shorter one if we're having a bit of a busier type of week. But yeah. Ooh. I might actually change my shirt. I'll be right back. Actually. All right, better. I was passing between a tank top and sweatshirt kind of go to, and it was not feeling great. So it was like too hot, but I didn't want to take the sweatshirt off and just be in a tank top. So you know what? Let's just go to a regular nice shirt. So yeah, hopefully you guys are having a nice week. I think I might make a shout out to the old Instagram group. All right. How have you guys been? Tell me what's up. What are we working on this week? What's new in the dance? Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Pretty low. I'm just checking the channel right now. Pretty low latency. That's pretty good. We're trying this new thing, yeah, so that uh, ultra low latency. That's an option, I guess, so that when you ask a question or you post something, I can respond to it even quicker. Yeah. And yeah. So yeah, we're still kind of in the damn panic, but it's been nice to actually do workshops in person this past month. It's been good. Um, you know, Zoom, it's great. It's fantastic. It's good for, what it did. We weren't able to all be together in person. So I'm grateful for Zoom, but after a year or so of it, oh my gosh, I'm like done with it. So um, yeah, it's been nice to have a little bit more freedom. Oop, gotta turn off my notifications. Oh, cool. Very good. Yeah, so it's been nice to be doing some dancing in person again, and yeah, some things in Irish dancing you really can't teach over Zoom. I've been really trying to push that, trying to do as much as I can virtually, but sometimes you just need to get on all hands and knees and turn the foot out yourself, and yeah, and it's hard to do that in person. Oh, Hans, how we doing? That reminds me, I just ordered one of your merch shirts a few days ago. Can't wait for it. Oh, that's awesome to hear. I was actually wearing the tank top just now. Um, yeah. Which shirt did you end up going with? You just go with the logo that's right here, or what did you end up going with? You'll have to let me know what you think of it. If you think it's like how the quality is. If it's not great, I'll go with something else. I'll try a different company or something. But if it's nice, let me know. 'Cause I'm still kind of figuring that out. But I'm excited to have that as an option. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, yeah. So March for me was a month of workshops. Every weekend, I was somewhere doing a workshop in person, and that was a lot of fun. April for me is a lot of just in Chicago stuff. So I'm back doing some Zoom lessons. Um, you know, when I'm not doing workshop stuff, I also do choreography for a bunch of schools and dancers and whatnot. And I kind of threw all the workshops into March and all the choreography into April. So this month I'll be doing a lot more dancing and creating and all that stuff here. So it'll be nice to kind of be in one spot for a little bit of time. Black one with the logo. That's showing on the screen. Oh, awesome. I actually have that too. I had to throw it in the wash. I was wearing it this weekend for the workshop. Um, but I love that. I have a sweatshirt version of that too, and it's pretty cool. Um, yeah, I could not be happier with how that logo came out. It's been a process. I've had the logo for a while, but then the like smeary red stuff that's from this year. So I've been really excited about that. I think it's really cool. So yeah, basically this live stream is a, for you guys, if you have any questions about Irish dancing, anything like that, I'm here during these Wednesday live streams to answer your questions. Um, back in the day, before all this internet, social media, and all that stuff, Irish dancing kind of felt a little gatekept into Ireland. It was you had to learn directly from the dance masters of the time and this and that. But now with like social media and the internet and all this stuff, I feel like it's way more um, accessible. And so this is my way of trying to extend that um, accessibility. So if you're working on a specific trick, um, I like to think that I know most of the tricks. Some of the girl tricks I'm still working on, but um, you know, for the most part, I know a thing or two. And some of these tricks, it's all about like one little like trick to it or something. So if you have any questions about any tricks like that, just dancing in general, let me know. Yeah, or let me know because this April I'm going to be doing a lot of videos for the YouTube and kind of batching them and setting them, scheduling them out. So if there's something you want to have a video done of or about, let me know as well. Hans asked me, who designed the logo? So the logo itself, the T and the S, so two people, um, and they're both Irish dancers. It's crazy. Fantastic artist. Jason O'Neill, who's actually one of the leads of Riverdance, did the logo, the T and the S, this whole thing, and then Joe Harrison, who's from Lord of the Dance. So I got a little bit of both. Joe Harrison from Lord of the Dance took that logo and then gave it the smeary whoosh effect with the little banner underneath it. Yeah. This thing, yeah, and I couldn't be. Ooh, it's in my face. So it's like see-through, and it should look pretty cool on the T-shirt. But yeah, I couldn't be happier with how it came out. Really like the it's like very simple. I like it. Yeah, and then the little top part with the globe, and then the Celtic knot around it is its own kind of little logo itself. Um, you know, just kind of what I wanted to have included. I felt like actually, he came up with it, but I think it's such a great addition to the logo to balance it off. I felt like with just the T and the S, it wasn't enough. But the top part, I feel like really, really adds to it. Yeah. Whee! Let's send it back. Hey, Catherine, how are we doing? What kind of shoes do you like the best for hard shoe and why? Love this question. Okay, so show you what shoes I pulled out for today, and they don't look pretty. I call them my slippers because they're so broken in that they're just they feel like slippers, which dance shoes should normally feel pretty rigid and structured, but these are comfy, so they're always near me. These are Rutherford hard shoes, and what I guess so here's my thing. For me personally, I go with Rutherford because I've tried pretty much all of them. These for me have lasted the longest, which isn't saying much because most hard shoes don't last very long for me. um, but they last the longest for whatever reason. And for my foot, where the pad of my foot or the ball of my foot sits, it sits right where the shoe. Well, clearly you can see. It sits right here, and that was really important to me. Another shoe I really like are FEIS hard shoes, FAYS, I think, or FAYES. Those are really nice and they have a really good look to them. But the tap went all the way a little bit further down, and for some feet that's perfect and it's awesome. But for mine, it sat right at the crease of my foot, like right where the ball of my foot was where the tap finished. And so when I was younger and I used those shoes for competition, I would get stress fractures in my foot from that, because it would be at like the point of like where I'd be pounding would like hit the middle part of the ball of my foot, which is not what you want. And yeah, it was not a good situation. I've also tried Core's Irish Dance shoes, and I think those are the quickest to break in. I could break in a pair of those in like a day, less than a day, like an hour or two. I'd break them in. And those are great, but they fell apart super quick. Nothing against them. I think they're really comfy and they're good. But I'd probably just go with Rutherford. Another big thing, because you know about me, like I love heel clicks. I love heel clicks. Those are my favorites. And I preach heel clicks. And, you know, I'd say the best heel clicking shoe are the Rutherfords, for the simple fact that, and I don't know if the other shoes have caught up with this idea, but the fact that it's just one solid heel makes a huge difference. Let me see if I can find. Hold on, one sec. I had to grab. Actually, this is a pair of my brother's shoes, and he also has Rutherford, but this is an older model, and I don't know if you can tell, but see, it's two pieces. There's a fiberglass tap or cap at the bottom, and I believe this is wood. Yeah, so it's wood and then a cap, and the new ones, it's just one fiberglass piece. And and when I used other shoes, and when Rutherford had the caps, when I was using other shoes, that cap it's got like 4 nails, and that cap would not stay on for longer than a month, maybe a week or two, and it would start sounding tinny when it would like hit the ground, because it was starting to get loose like right away. Now I hit my heels pretty hard, and I do a lot of heel clicks, so that's probably part of it. Um, but they would go loose, and I absolutely hated the sound of that like tinny sound when they started to get loose. And then sure enough, like one big click or something, and the cap would bust straight off, and I'd have to get them reattached by a cobbler or whatnot. So I hated that. Then Rutherford started doing the one heel, and done. Like even if it was not a great shoe, but it had one heel there, that just made a huge difference for me. So, yeah. All right. But that was a great question there, Catherine. Hope you're doing well. Catherine's been a supporter of the channel for a little bit now. Always great to hear from you. Hans, you know Jason? Yeah. Oh, he's awesome. Yeah, I think he's the cover boy for Irish Dance Magazine this month, April. Irish Dance Magazine. Soft plug. Yeah, he's been doing some really cool, creative things on social media. You should follow him if you don't. I think it's Jason O'Neill. It's pretty straightforward. You can find him on social media pretty easily. Let's see if I can take this up just a little bit. Yeah. There we go. That looks a little better. I think the camera was like cutting off at my forehead. Emily, how are we doing? What made you choose Irish over tap? That's a great question. I love tap, and I kind of learned about tap and appreciated it later on in the game. But Irish dancing was what my older sister did. It's what my mother did, actually, and it's what my grandmother did as well. So it was kind of running in the family. It's kind of like if your dad played basketball, and your brother played basketball, and your grandma played basketball. If everybody played basketball, there's a pretty solid chance that you're going to play basketball as well, or at least try it. So that's what happened. I tried Irish dancing and I liked it. I think, when you um, get hooked to a sport or whatnot, you kind of lean towards that over other sports, and you kind of prioritize that. I loved soccer, and I had a thing for Irish dance, and that was as much time as I had, along with school and all that. So I really wasn't looking beyond that for activities. Where'd my music go? Play, please. Oh, there we are. How's the music? Can we hear the music? All right. FEIS app. I need to put like a little FEIS app logo somewhere. Get the vibe going. Yeah, but that's a great question, Emily. Are you an Irish dancer as well? Are you a tap dancer? Are you a tap dancer that has migrated to an Irish dance live stream? That's interesting right there. Laura, how are we doing? Laura Berrigan. Do I know you? Were you from Trinity? Name's familiar. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. Laura asked, "Did you stay with Trinity for all? For did you stay with Trinity for all your training, or did you switch schools at all?" Yeah, it's kind of like a. What am I trying to say? I don't think it's looked down upon to switch schools, and I don't think it should. If a shoe doesn't fit, try on a new shoe. Um, but I started at Trinity, the Trinity Academy in Chicago. So live in Chicago. The biggest dance school in Chicago is Trinity. And so that's when my sister started dancing, and so I had no choice. That was where the family was doing the dance, so that's where I started. And I started, and my first teacher, her name was Amy Campbell, and about 2 or 3 years into my dance career, she decided to start her own dance school and dance studio called Anamore Irish Dance and Music. Her husband, Jackie Moran, who I've toured with, was and is a fantastic musician, and so he started um, an Irish music school along with it, and so they started their own school, and that school also happened to be like down the street from where we lived. To get into downtown Chicago with traffic was like over an hour to drive into the city and out of the city, like hour there, hour back, plus maybe even with the traffic. So it was like pretty time consuming to go to dance class when we were at Trinity. Um, my first teacher started her own school. It was down the street. So a lot of things were working in favor of making a switch. It was not that I, um, you know, was mad at Trinity or they were, wasn't that it was necessarily a wrong fit for me, actually. We just had a better situation for the whole family, drive wise. It's a whole lot less money, to pay for gas and all that. And yeah, and it was my first dance teacher too, so it really wasn't too hectic of a transition. What I was sad about when I was that age, I remember, I was in a dance class filled with other male Irish dancers, and when I went to Anamore, it was a much smaller school, and I was the only boy in my class, so I was not happy about that early on. But actually, it motivated me to go to more competitions because that's where I'd meet up with all my buds, and we'd compete. But then we'd also hang out afterwards, and all that stuff. So, yeah. So for I'd say 10 or 12 years of my competitive career, I was at Anamore Irish Dance. I started for 2 or 3 years at Trinity, then about 12 years at Anamore, and then when the school eventually closed due to financial reasons, and I was given a free transfer to another school, and I chose Trinity again. Again, because it wasn't that it was a bad fit early on, or I was mad at them when I left. So it was kind of just all right, well. And I was an adult at that time. I was in college. And I was going to school in Chicago, so it kind of made sense. That's actually with Trinity. I won my world title with Trinity. So, yeah. We use many Irish dance examples for inspo in class. Yes, I am. Okay, wait. Yes, I am. Like, you're a tap dancer? Okay. We use many Irish dance examples. That's amazing to hear because I use so many like tap videos for inspiration for Irish dance. I'll find like a cool tap trick, slow it down and learn it, and then try and figure out how to like turn it out, through like an Irish dance lens. So that's really interesting to hear that tap dancers are doing the same with Irish dance. Which tricks are you uh, finding inspiration from? Um, oh, I got a text. Oh, just a bunch of order updates. I do a lot of Amazon for like toothpaste and silly deodorant, silly things like that. So I don't have to like do a million and one errands. It's so interesting though, Emily. Yeah, I'd be curious to hear what tricks you try to learn. You're probably trying to learn drums? I feel like every tap dancer I run into, they always want to learn how to do drums. Barbarian, my older sister, more your age, I danced more with your brother. Oh, fantastic. I'm assuming Ian. I have another brother, Quinn, and he Irish dances as well, but he actually transitioned. He went over to the Irish drum. Like I was saying, Anna Moore was an Irish music school as well, and he learned how to play the bodhrán instead. This is steeped long enough. As is tradition with my live streams, I'm made a tea. And of course it's Barry's tea, if you're wondering. Barry's tea is the best tea. This is not a plug for Barry's tea, I just think it's the best. I don't think it's a debatable thing, so cheers to that. Alright. Do we want to go over anything Irish dance related? We're a few minutes into the live stream. I love the chats, but we can also do some dancing. I got the dance space. I got the dance space over here. Let me know. Can you hear me? Because my mic's still out of commission. I had to send it back. So my mic is still being fixed. So I'm using my computer mic that's over there. Can you hear me? Yeah. How's the audio over here? Oh gosh. I see a comment from a buddy of mine. Billy, what's up? What's going on, man? We can hear you. Thanks, Bill. How do I do nerve taps? I appreciate the I appreciate the softball, but I know you know what a nerve is. Yeah. All right. You know what? We're gonna do it anyways. I appreciate the softball. It's been a bit of a slower day today. If you can imagine, Bill, last week we were doing a bunch of dancing, lots of questions. Today it's been a dry spell so far. So you know what? We're gonna do it. I'm putting on a shoe. I'm putting on one shoe because that's all we really need to explain the nerve. Okay. It is something that is not Irish at all, but I think it has its place in Irish dancing. So we're gonna pop over here. Ta-da! All right. Ooh. Yeah, there we go. All right. Okay, so we're trying to understand what a nerve is. A nerve is a tap term for a rhythm they do. let's try that. Let's rephrase that. When we're talking about nerves, that refers to a trick in tap dance that I think is similar to almost like like in the cartoon Bambi Thumper when he's like moving really fast. It's like lightning fast rhythms by just shaking your leg, and the best way to explain it would be you want to lock up your leg, and you know that feeling when you hold something so tight that you start to actually shake. You want to tense your muscles, or you tense your arms so much that it starts to shake. It's that. But we want to do that with our leg. The same idea, tensing the leg, and then getting that shake, but then controlling it in a way that you are just off the floor. And that tense allows you to shake, and then that shake allows you to tap or make your sounds a whole lot faster than you normally would if you were to just muscle it. Does that make sense? Yeah. So if I was like, that's probably how fast I can go if I was just like trying to muscle it with my ankle and my foot. But if I was to like tense my leg but then loosen my ankle, I can go a lot faster with pressing. My arm also going with it as well. And that allows you to do, you can do a whole, it allows a whole, like, I think it opens a door, really, to way more rhythms and possibilities from that. It's what we were talking about, actually, in the video I posted today, or yesterday, 2 days ago, about getting more heel clicks. I took that idea and used that for heel clicks. When you're jumping in the air, normally you want to, like, muscle your way through it, click, 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 click. But you can only jump so high. And I was only able to get to about 5 or 6 in the air if I was just muscling through these clicks. So I started learning the this off YouTube, of all places, learning how to do a nerve. And I was like, that's such a cool idea. I wonder if I could use that idea as I'm in the air, doing basically 2 nerves sequentially while floating in the air, like so basically like a controlled shake, but have my heels in the right spot while I'm in the air. And so that's how I've been able to get 10 heel clicks, 11 heel clicks, knocking on 12 clicks. I really want to get a good video of that. I think I've got it. I think I got it, but I didn't have a good enough video of it, so I'm kind of waiting on that. But that's how I've been able to do that, using a nerve basically, both legs with the heels. So you want to just practice shaking your leg, like tensing your leg muscles all the way up to your hip muscle, and then trying to put your leg just above the ground where the floor is just catching the tail end of your shake. Okay, so if you're trying to bounce the heel, you wanna also flex that foot up, so the tap up. So that's the heel. If it's the tap, the front tap's a little bit harder because you have to loosen the top part of your ankle. While this is tense, you're also loosening this area. And the way that Irish dance shoes are made with the strap here to really like hold the ankle doesn't really make it any easier. So that part's a little bit easier to do in tap shoes, where you can loosen that a bit more. And then somewhere in between, you can actually do both at the same time. I call that like a teeth chatter. But the same idea, if you're on like a toe, you want to flex and tense the whole leg against that starts to shake, and then hold it just above the floor. And it does it. When you first learn how to do it, it's not great. It's going to be rough. It's going to be pretty brutal. But as long as like the concept is there, it's a lot like other Irish dance tricks where, the more you do it, the more you gain that muscle memory and the more efficiency there, more comfortableness. You gain better balance because you are balancing yourself on one foot while doing all this. So just by practicing it more and more and more, we get more comfortable on that one foot while trying to do some pretty interesting stuff with the other leg. So it does come down to repetition as well. So the first couple times you're going to try this, not going to be very pretty, but over time it gets better, and then you can actually gauge how fast you want to go with it. Like you can slow down, go fast, and then you can do some cool stuff. Like move the toe around. You can do some cool stuff, and it's very tap. But you can definitely, like, if you're in kind of more of an improv-y, like, performance setting, not like a clinical, like, Irish dance competition. I wouldn't say do that in an Irish dance competition, but if you're just, like, doing a treble reel, like, at that, local pub or, having a fun time, just having a session, you can toss that in and it's pretty fun. I think at least so. Yeah, the nerve. I guess we just call it that. In Irish dance, we just call it a nerve, too. So, yeah. Hope that made sense. Yeah. So what I'm doing, you saw just now, I kind of went blink, blink on the camera. I'm always going to be posting these live streams, but my camera set up here, I can also hit record and stop to record little snippets that I'll also post as well. So if you miss any live streams, we're going to try and do this every Wednesday. If you miss any live streams, I'll try to post the highlights along with the full live stream as well. So yeah. This is a weird look. Slipper on one foot, shoe on the other. So, I don't know if it's a good sound or a good look for me, but hey, there you have it. Cool. That was fun. Cool. All right. Catherine pauses. I can hear you fine. Good. I'm glad that the mics are working just fine. I can hear you fine, but I don't know when you start dancing. Okay. Are the taps loud enough? Hopefully you can hear all that. Again, I have a super cool mic. It's really fun. It's wireless, and I love it. And in my previous videos, you probably saw it, like, it's white, first of all, so it's very, like, if I'm not wearing a white shirt, it's not really sneaky. It's right there. And it's attached to me. And, yeah, it keeps my sound and everything consistent, whether I'm here on the dance floor and all that. But it broke. So sad, but I love it, and I think they said it's just a like a not a hardware, a firmware thing. Because it was working just fine, and I updated it on my computer, and the firmware crashed the circuits on it or something, and just killed the wireless part, the receiver, like dead. I was like, what? So I called them and they're like, yeah, that shouldn't happen. We'll send yours back and we'll send you a new one. Yeah, so it's all fine and dandy, but yeah, it's a bummer. Billy, when are we getting 13 clicks? That's an unlucky number. I think we're gonna skip right past it. How about that? How about we just go to 14? Can this move only be done with one shoe, or can we wear two? I've seen people do with one shoe. I've seen people do it with two shoes. What I've never seen is people doing it with three shoes. So if you could do it with three shoes, you win all the prizes, all the rewards. Thunderously loud. My shoes? My slippers still making noise. Billy's a river dancer in and of itself. Yeah. He's a tap dancer. This guy here, Billy. River dance, tap dance. a videographer. He's done a bunch of the videos for my channel, and a great friend of mine. Um, we've toured together a good bit. He's just filling the comments with questions. Thank you for the softballs. The Irish are known for their storytelling abilities. Do you do poetry about Irish dancing? No, I don't. Billy, can you give us a poem? If you write me a poem, I'll do some Irish poetry here on the channel. I should start telling people that, along with taking super chat requests. If you super chat me a poem, I'll read it for everybody. We'll post it later on the channel. So now I'm sitting back and this camera seems to... Here, let's do that. Am I reading this right? Lipizans. I was a math major in school. I was not an English major, so I'm terrible at reading and pronouncing things. So if I read your name wrong, I am sorry. I am trying my best. Lippy says, did you ever compete in a kilt, or had they fallen out of favor by the time you started? So, yes, to the last part of that. Kilts were a big part of male Irish dance costuming, like the decade before mine. So I started in, when did I start Irish dancing? Like 98, 99. That's about right, 98. And like the 90s were all about the kilts. Billy can back me up on this. He's that old. He remembers those times. Billy, back me up. Weren't the 90s about kilts? So I started at 98, and I I was not a fan of the kilts. I did not like the extra freedom. I liked pants like a lot more. I did one performance at Milwaukee Irish Fest where I had to wear a kilt and like little biker shorts underneath, and it was just I just hated it. I was not a fan. So Billy, we're the same age, so um, so yeah, so I had to wear them once. Not a fan, and though, like towards the end of the '90s, they were still being worn, but just a lot less. And by the 2000s, it was all about pants. Pants were all the rage, thankfully. Yeah. Now, nothing against kilts. Some people love them. I'm not one of them, and that's just how it is. Yeah. Close enough. It's a horse breed from Austria. What's a horse breed from Austria? What are we talking about? Are you from Austria? Oh, a horse breed. Oh, Lipizans. Sorry, I'm connecting the dots. So Lipizans is a horse breed from Austria. Am I taking it that you are from Austria yourself? Then and there's a horse in your picture, so that would probably connect all the dots there. Sweet, love it. Thanks, Bill. Oh, look, a text message from Billy. Oh, real nice, Bill. Thanks. All right. When were you born? I'm May 23rd. I'm pretty sure you're older, right? Yeah. Lipizan. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so that's a horse breed in Austria. Got it. Thank you. Cool. The more you know. Here was thinking I was going to be teaching some Irish dance or something, and I'm learning myself. Guys, see, I can see there's 12 people watching right now. If you guys got a burning question and you want to say hi, let me know where you're tuning in from. What you're working on in dance, if you're a dancer yourself. What are you practicing right now? It was a chilly day in Chicago. It was cold enough for a jacket. Anybody out there not have to wear a jacket today? If so, I'm jealous. What other exercise do you do to help with dancing? So Irish dancing is great for the cardio. It's great for a lot of things. Yeah, strengthen your legs and all of that. But Irish dancing can also be pretty brutal to your body as well. So you want to kind of counter the stuff you're doing in Irish dancing with other exercises. So I've learned over the years, us Irish dancers, we have hyper-developed calf muscles and quads, but super underdeveloped hips, hamstrings, and actually the outside of our calf muscles on the outsides, those are underdeveloped as well. So doing exercises in the gym that work on those muscles are super important. I had a pretty bad injury about 3 years ago that was very connected to the fact that my hamstrings were just not strong, and my hamstrings would exhaust a lot faster than the other muscles. The other muscles keep going, but my hamstrings would give out, and then the work would be handed down to my calves to do the work, and they'd exhaust as well, and then the work would be handed down to the tendons in my foot, or tendons in my leg. When tendons, you don't want your tendons doing the job that muscle should be doing. And so I had a pretty bad injury involving that, and I learned a lot of ways to strengthen. I think strengthening your hamstrings, your glutes, and your hips is so important. And so, but you don't want it to be super abrasive, because like Irish dancing is already so poundy and so harsh on the legs. So what I've actually found really useful is kind of going back and forth with other different types of cardio. So like a high incline walk on the treadmill is like superb. It is fantastic. It's very like low intensity, but over time you really feel it, and you feel it in all like the right places, like your hamstrings, and I find that to be like really nice to kind of engage those muscles, so they're ready. So when you start dancing, your hamstrings aren't like pooped out or not awake yet. And then I do a lot in the gym, actually, a good bit. And we were talking about this last week in the live stream, that I learned a lot of breathing technique from doing lifting at the gym. So you have to exhale when you have your concentric movement. So when you're like pushing out, if you're like doing like a bench press or something, you go, you exhale when you push forward, and then when the eccentric, when you're bringing it back, you go, and learning to breathe with your movements actually helped a lot with the dancing. I was able to breathe a lot better with my dancing. I know it sounds weird, but I think sometimes we can get in the tendency of like holding our breath randomly in our dance, and that isn't great because then oxygen isn't getting to our muscles, and then it's just a bad news bear situation. So yeah, doing other types of exercise and things like that, regimented stuff like that, like even lifting and like learning to breathe, like super helpful. Um, my favorite stamina pusher, besides just doing your dance, and pushing yourself through doing the dance, my favorite one is jump ropes. Jump ropes, if you jump rope for 3 minutes, pick your favorite tune or song, hit play, and jump rope through the whole thing, like quick jumps through the whole song. You'll get a nice little workout, and you'll also get a nice little workout with your upper body. So those are all great ways to, work on, build your body without the Irish dancing. So it's good. What is it? Cross training. Good cross training. All right. Guys, Billy is one of my best friends from Oak Cask Media and a professional Irish dancer in his own right. River dancer, supreme, awesome dancer. He's thrown the channel some softballs, but I think it's a great question. If there are some of you out there watching, if you're lurking on the channel, you're watching and listening to the channel. I have a left foot that won't stay turned out. Any advice? I'd say I have a video on turnout stickers, and I would put those on your inside ankles or your inside heels, and I would do simple exercises, simple positions, simple walking exercises to a vertical mirror or some way of you seeing your feet. Slow it down. If you're doing your dancing and you can't keep up, if your turnout can't keep up with your dancing, you got to slow it down in some way. You gotta apply some sort of what I would call training wheels. So one easy way, if whatever your dance is at a certain tempo, bring that tempo down, and see if that helps be able to bring more of that turnout there. Then once you have it, gradually bring that speed back up. Or however much that dancing routine is, take one chunk of that routine and just do that one chunk to the vertical mirror, looking for the feet, and start from the first bar to the second bar, pause, check for the feet. Are they there? No? Well then do that chunk, maybe do less a chunk then, or maybe do that chunk slower down, at a slower tempo. Because if you just kind of ground and pound, lower your head, and keep trying at it at the same speed and do the whole thing, your brain's not going to latch on to the turnout and the technique that you want. Irish dance gets more difficult. It's harder to stay perfect the longer your routine is and the faster you're dancing. So those are two great ways to, at least in your brain and your headspace, reduce the amount of things you're thinking about. But to an extreme end, you can also just do simple, basic technique drills where you're just going through the motions and the different positions to push through the feet. But turnout stickers, you're never too old for turnout stickers. Get some big, bright ones, and put them on your shoes and look for them. Vertical mirror. I was actually working with a dancer yesterday, doing a one-on-one session, and she hadn't yet bought a vertical mirror, and I hadn't noticed in how many sessions we were doing, and we were talking about turnout. I was like, wait a second, we don't have a mirror, right? And she's like, no. I was like, okay, you need to go to Walmart, buy yourself a $3 mirror, vertical mirror, and hop on, and use that to self-check. She's like, oh, okay. There's a reason why studios have like walls full of mirrors. And it's because a lot of it is self-checking and looking for your own turnout. Okay. So left foot is a very common thing though too, because most of us are right-footed. Most of the dances start with right foot in front. It's very right foot dominant. dance form, and so left foot is usually cast aside. Fun fact about me, I'm left-footed, and my left foot is actually a little more than a half size bigger than my right. So I don't know if that has helped me or hurt me, because I've had to buy some interesting, I've had to wear like an extra sock at times on my right foot. But yeah. Jordan, how are we doing? Jordan was on the channel last week, the live stream. Ran out of questions. Man, come on. It's all good. How you been? How's your week been? Good. Hans asked a great question. Because I was actually working with two dancers yesterday on soft shoe, and they were both boy Irish dancers. And boy soft shoes are basically a jazz slipper with a hard shoe heel attached to the back of them. I was explaining heel clicks to them with my hard shoes, and they're like, "Where are your soft shoes?" I was like, "I haven't put on my soft shoes in maybe 4 or 5 years." After I was done competing, most of Irish dance competitions are, most of Irish dance shows have the guys in hard shoes for the most part. I think two shows out of the like 12 or 13 productions I've been a part of. One or two of them, I think, well, two. Technically two. One of them I actually chose to do soft shoe because I was younger and I was like, let's shake it up. I still have these soft shoes, but that was the last time I wore them. Yeah. So we just don't need them. So I think it wouldn't be a bad idea though to break them out for the workshops. Yeah. I've never worn a pair of gillies before. The girls' soft shoe is a different type of shoe. It's called a gilly, and I've never worn them. I don't want to wear them. They don't look comfy, and so I'm good with a nice pair of gym shoes. Hans tuning in from Germany. It is late, my man. That is dedication to be up this late. Would it be better to start this live stream earlier, guys? I'm trying my best to figure out a time that works for everybody. If it makes sense to do this at an earlier time, you guys will let me know. Because that's pretty late for Germany. All right. Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy the live streams. Having fun. Yeah, this is nice. Thanks for tuning in again, Jordan. Thanks for the support. And guys, if you'd like to support the channel further, I have a Patreon. It's in the caption below. Patreon allows creators like me to get a little bit of money to allow us to have more time to do videos like this, live streams like this, and all of that. Editing videos takes way too long, and I'm able to edit more videos, dedicate more time to making videos through support like Patreon, becoming a member of the channel, visiting the merch site, sporting your Tyler Schwartz Dance t-shirt or whatever it may be, all that stuff. So the link is down below if you'd like to look at that. There's some perks there as well. On Patreon, I'm always talking to my patrons and asking them about where the direction of this channel, where we want to go with it. So I also give kind of like heads up to videos and cool little events, and I want to do more with that soon. But we keep all the videos, all the content. I'm never going to put it behind a paywall or anything like that. It's more so just to help support the channel further. But I'll add a few little perks on there, and I think the channel, if you join the channel as a membership, you get like a little badge or something like that when you comment on videos or you get stuff like that. I don't know. Something interesting to look into. So again, Patreon down below if you want to support the channel. Yeah, I think it's like $3. So if you want to buy me a coffee or my next tea, next Berry's tea is not cheap. I really support that, so thank you. Billy, no way. Maybe. How about we scare some people? No. I don't know. Am I going to try to win worlds again? Maybe. Should that be the next series on the channel? Training for the Worlds. Well, the Worlds has been canceled now 2 years in a row, so that's kind of upsetting. So maybe I come back for when the Worlds eventually do come back. I'll compete in the old man division. Yeah, coming for you, competitive dancers. I got to stretch a whole lot more. Back in the day when I was competing, I had a lot better flexibility. Now I just kind of have like good enough flexibility, like good enough flexibility where I'm like not gonna hurt I'm not gonna get injured because I'm inflexible, and I can pretty much do the things I need to do. But back in the day, I had much better flexibility, so I'd have to ramp up that whole thing if I was gonna compete again. Yeah, competing in Irish dancing is very much a year-round commitment too. It's a lot of work. I don't know. I'll say maybe. Yeah, Billy, are you trying to win worlds again? Maybe. Oh, hi Samantha. I think I saw you on the live stream last week. Tips on confidence mindset for Irish dancers. In recent times, I've made the effort to research more about this to help improve my confidence for future competitions. Yeah, so I mean, man, this could be its own video. I might make a note. Make a note on this to be its own video. But tips on confidence mindset. So I think the biggest thing for me is dancing and going out on stage like you've been there before. Dance like you've been there before. Have that mindset going into it, because so many times we can psych ourselves out of dancing our best or putting on the performance that we want to do. We get lost in the moment or something, or we get caught up in that, and we don't have that focus. And like muscle memory, like practicing a trick a million times and just being able to do it without even thinking about it, I think the more you compete, the more comfortable you get in your bones going into a competition. Because if you're training all year round and then you go to one competition that year, it all comes down to that one competition. And you can very easily psych yourself out of that moment. But if you're competing year round and you're going to a competition every weekend or every other weekend, you're learning things about yourself, you're learning things about your dance every time you're out on stage. Yeah. Every time you go out there, you can make mental adjustments like, oh, I died in my last step, so maybe I need to work on my stamina this week for my next competition. Or, that kick just wasn't high enough at the end, or kicks, here or there, I need to stretch more. And so you can make those adjustments on the fly as you go, doing these competitions every week, every other week, or whatever. and you get more settled every time you go to a competition. After that, you get more settled. You figure out the kicks. You figure out, the stamina. You figure out these things. Oh, I was really nervous going into that. I need to, maybe eat less food. During maybe I ate too much breakfast that morning, or maybe I ate like bad, not great food for you, like greasy pizza the day before a competition. That didn't work out, and you learn from it, and you learn not to do that. So then, when you get to this competition at the end of the year, you've done like 30, 40 odd competitions throughout the year. You've learned each time, and you've gained this experience, this mindset of I've been here before. I'm not doing it like it's not like a dance where now I have to do 6 steps. It's the same 3 steps. It's the same prep. It's the same everything. The stage might change. The judges might be different, but you have this added experience and this calmness in the sense that you have been here before. You've been in. You've done this 30 times before this. This whole year leading up to it. Something I always did, and I actually had to have a video on this, I think somewhere, on visualization. So my dad actually taught me this, but the night before a big competition, I'll actually close my eyes and I'll walk myself through the entire day. Because some of these competitions last so long. It's like a day-long process. Where your first round might be at like 8 in the morning, and your set dance might not be until 4 or 5 in the afternoon. And it's a marathon. You got to keep that focus all day. Well, you ideally want to, but visualization is such a great practice, a great tactic in that the day before or the week leading up to it, every night you are visualizing. It's 8 o'clock, and here I am, and I'm in the dance hall. Try to visualize the sights and the sounds and the smells. The smell of sock glue and hairspray and sweat, honestly, in the air, and all of that, and the sounds of Irish dance music in the air, and visualizing you going up on stage and going through each step, each dance, and visualizing yourself doing the best that you absolutely can on the stage. And that way, when you get to the big competition, when it's actually happening, not only have you had these competitions leading up to this where you're like, yeah, I've been here before, I've done these steps before, I've done all this, I'm ready. But now you've also had the mental side of it, not just the physical side, but the mental side of visualizing all of it. So on a mental side, you've been here before. Your brain has gone through all of this before. And so I don't think you'll ever be calm at a competition, but you'll be confident in what you're capable of doing. Yeah. That is a long question to answer, but I had a lot to say. I hope that helps understand kind of where that's from, where I'm coming from with that. I was a dancer that when I had what I called butterflies. I'd get butterflies during every competition. I'd get nervous, and when I was younger, I actually used that energy, that nervous energy, to jump more, to go more, to run more. When you're nervous, you can run a whole lot faster. You're very much alive, and that can very easily work negatively against you. But you can also use that energy in a positive way. And actually, one of the indicators that I used when I finally was like, I need to move on and retire. Later on in my competitive career, I wasn't as nervous. I lost my butterflies, and as I got older, I kind of missed that feeling. It sounds kind of bad, but it's those times where we're super nervous, or like, that we sometimes also feel the most alive. So not to put it I'm trying to put a positive twist to the whole nerves thing, because it affects everybody, and it affected me. Still does, in different situations. I just put on my production Real Rhythm for the first time. We debuted it, and I had those butterflies again, and or nerves as you want to call it. But I was actually kind of happy to feel that. I was like, oh, butterflies, like this is, you know, it's that feeling of like this matters to me. This is important, and let's, you know, let's go. And I kind of used the same tactics for that when I debuted that show, visualizing all of it, you know. And we had a lot of run-throughs and dress rehearsals leading up to it where we figured out, you know, what works and what didn't. So again, preparing the mental side and the physical side equally is super important, and hopefully can make a big difference in your dancing. So hope that answered your question, Samantha. Thanks for hanging out today on the channel. Yeah. Ooh. Sorry, I'm catching up. Okay. Hans, yeah. Okay, so we're also, guys, if you're on here, let me know what's the best time for live streams for you guys. This week and last I did 5 o'clock Central US. It's kind of a late afternoon for me in Chicago time, so we could probably pull it a little bit earlier. Let me know if that would be better for you guys, because it's like the AM. It's like tomorrow already for Hans. He's in Germany. Yeah. Leaning post. Like leaning post? Like leaning on a post? Or is that your name? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry if that I'm not making fun of it. I was just yeah. I like your picture though too. Rainbow. Thanks for streaming. Hey, yeah. Happy to put some Irish dance content on the YouTubes. Make this all so much more accessible to everybody, you know. We were saying this earlier. Irish dancing before the time of YouTube and social media was kind of gate kept in a way, because you had these dance masters in Ireland, and sometimes they'd fly out and teach people in person, or, you know, this or that. You had to be in the classroom. You'd have to be there, or, you know, or you got like a VHS tape that really was like not very. I don't know if it was helpful or not. I don't know, but it's just a lot of work, right? And so social media and all this stuff have really opened the gates to Irish dancing and making it more accessible and more uh, easier to learn, you know, and pick up if you are interested in it. It's a lot more accessible, and these live streams I'm trying to do hopefully can add to that accessibility. So on top of the videos I'm posting, you know, I hope to do this on a consistent level to also answer your questions in and around those videos. So if you have any questions on the videos as well, let me know. Samantha just asked a really great question about getting, you know, preparing for competitions, or I'd say preparing for competitions or performances. You know, we all get nervous. I think it was really helpful advice, and yeah, I think I'd consider wanting to do a separate video on that. Be a great idea. I might just honestly just take that bite. I might take that bite and just make that a video. that might be the way to go. Leading post. Do you have any ways that help remember your dances? Do you have any ways that help remember your dances? Okay, so I'd say the 3 ways that are best to like learn your dances, remember your dances, really build the muscle memory of like what the dances are as you're going through it. I'd say there's, on one end, you know, you have your notebook and you're writing out your steps. Hop, skip, 2, 3, hop, skip, 2, 3, and step in, up, leap, down. You know, all in words. And then on the other side is dancing the steps over and over again to build the actual physical muscle memory of the movements in the dance. So we have writing it all out, dancing it all out. And I think the middle zone of that is singing your steps. So, and I think that's the best way to remember your steps, especially with hard shoe dances and rhythms and all that stuff. Um, to fully understand your dances, because sometimes when it's just on paper, it's a little bit, sorry, over here. Sometimes when it's just on paper, it's hard to comprehend when you go back to it, a week later. You're like, oh, what was that dance? And you check the paper, and you're like, yeah. I don't know what that is. What does leap 2, 3, 4 kick up? You lose some of the jingle of it and the move, the flow of it. You can't practice dance like all the time. Even though I do think over and over and over again, getting the muscle memory, that's really important. It has its place. But singing your dance, cut, skip, 2, 3, hop, skip, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 1, 2, up, leap down, and you can tell I am not a great singer at all. You do not need to be a good singer to sing your steps. Except, in many ways, I, applaud anyone who sings their steps and isn't the best singer. But definitely like hard shoe, tip up, treble, and in. Not only speaking the rhythms, but speaking it with the tune, like if you're doing a Blackbird. Tip up, treble, step in, tip up, treble, step in, tip up, treble, step in. You can bring in the musicality of the dance that you're trying to do. And so I highly recommend people, when they're learning a dance and they're trying to build the muscle memory in their legs, but also in the brains, is to sing your step. Not just speak it, but sing it with the music that you're dancing it to. Yeah. Once again, if you guys are new to this live stream, we're answering all your questions. We're doing some dances. We're having fun here, hanging out, all things Irish dance. And earlier I told you guys, Billy here is one of my good friends from Riverdance, Rock and Road to Dublin. He's a tap dancer as well. Helps out with a lot of the videos on my channel. Tossed me all sorts of fun questions this stream. Yeah, so I used to wear funky shoes. I still wear funky shoes. Now I wear less funky shoes. I still have my gold shoes. I still do. I have a pair of gold metallic Converse All-Stars. Those might make a comeback. Stay tuned on that. Maybe attach some taps to those shoes. Yeah? Attach some taps to the bottom of them. New tap shoes. Gold Converse All-Stars. Let's make it happen. Oh. Ooh, nice. So Samantha asked earlier, what are some techniques and ways to help with nerves and being prepared for competition, or doing your dance. We talked a lot about preparing the mind and the body, getting this stage experience. Hans also piggybacked into it. Yeah, it's also very helpful to think of the progress you've made. You know that you give your best, and that at every competition you're better than your last. For sure. That's the thing, and that's another great point to make. Nice. That was great, Hans. Like the idea that you can't, what you've already accomplished, nobody can take away. So if you go to a bunch of competitions, the odds of you having a good run or a good three rounds in one of them are pretty high. And then the odds of that day going pretty well and the results are also pretty high. And so when you eventually do succeed, moving forward to your next competition, nobody can take away the fact that you succeeded in the previous competition, whether you fall on your face or not that day. Nobody can take away what happened the day before, and just moving forward. And I've used that as a technique as well. You know, I think that's a great thing to say. Like, if I'm trying to go for 12 heel clicks, nobody can take away the fact that I've gotten 10 heel clicks and 11 heel clicks. So if I miss every single one of them and fall on my face and fall over and it's all over, I can at least be like, well, you know what? I've still accomplished a lot. And so you can also kind of go into that competition or whatever you do moving forward with kind of that sense of like having nothing to lose, everything to gain, nothing to lose. It's a great way to think of it. And if you don't compete enough, if you're not going to the competitions and putting yourself out there as much as you can, you'll never have that internally going. You can't use that tactic, So it's so important to go to competitions and put yourself out there, Learn from every situation, whether it's a good experience or a learning experience. There's only good experiences and learning experiences in my books. And those experiences don't happen unless you put yourself out there. And yeah. Leaning Post, it's a nickname. That's awesome. Love it. I was like, Leaning Post. I'm sure there's a story to go with that. Started doing Irish dancing about 4 years ago. I'm on my beginner hornpipe now. About to move on. Yes! On advanced slip jig. Let's go. Slip jig is awesome. Best of luck in your Irish dancing endeavors. Slip jig is a good one. I always wish that, so in competitive Irish dancing, traditionally boys didn't do slip jig. We only did the reel with soft shoe. And, I don't know why. I guess they think, it's more of a balletic tune. But, throughout the years, I would learn the girls' slip jigs, and they're pretty fun. I think let's let the boys do some slip jigs. I know some guys who could dance the heck out of a slip jig. I think when I'm working with dance schools at like workshops and whatnot, I think I'm my pickiest. I think I'm the pickiest about slip jigs. I'm very particular with them too, so I find that really funny. Because I never did them personally, competitively, but I have I'm very particular about them. So it's interesting. How did you handle the nerves with your first major? I'm going to my first major this summer. That's awesome. Congrats on your first major. That's a big accomplishment right then and there. So I got through my first major with the sense of, hey, this is my first time. There are literally no expectations, Now, unbeknownst to me, like I knew my teachers and my parents, and they knew. And this was like I was like 8 years old, 9 years old. My first major was very. I was still like a nugget, but I'm sure they were like, he could do pretty well if he doesn't like forget all of his steps or fall off the stage. I had no idea, where I would fall in like the rankings of like a big competition. So I went into that, and my parents and teachers also kept me on that mindset of like, there's no expectations. We're just here to like learn and experience this bigger stage. I think we were looking more long term. You know, um, and I did pretty well first major. But yeah, my mindset was never really like, I didn't really psych myself out too much because, if I fell off the stage, okay. If I won, okay. Like, there were no expectations. So I think that would be the best thing. Obviously, we've competed before, so I'd say give yourself some experience on stage before you go up for your major in the summer. Again, physically prepare yourself, get some experience under your belt, and then the same thing, visualization and all that. I learned at a very young age, so we were doing that already. But then, yeah, we just kept our expectations pretty low because genuinely, we didn't know. We didn't know where I'd sit with like the with the other dancers, or what the judges would think of my material, or any of that. So I think it was harder later down the road when when you're contending for a world title and anything other than first place is like kind of a failure, right? That's kind of like that's tough. But when you're going in, no expectations, first time at a major, enjoy it, soak it up. It's a fun time. Like no expectations, experience it. See, and I'd say if you're a journaler, if you like to journal and kind of write your experiences, or maybe a video journal or something, I would record your experience. How'd that first time on stage feel? What worked? What didn't? All of that stuff. Record that either in a notebook or like a video type of thing, because I bet you'll get a kick out of that down the road in your dance career. You know, yeah, good stuff. All right, y'all. We're gonna probably wrap this up soon, as I'm pretty close to the end of my tea. It's kind of how we do it. How we do this. I run out of tea. That's kind of the time to wrap things up. Lean Post wrote, I do teaching workshops. I do. Here. Whoop. I do. And if you'd like to learn more about my workshops or choreography or any of that stuff, you can visit my website at tylerschwartzdance.com. Nice and easy, very clear, straightforward. And I kind of explain what I do on there, and there's ways to contact me through the website. Yeah, I do workshops for competitive dance schools, performance dance schools, as well as one-on-ones with dancers through Zoom, and they've been pretty fun. They've been pretty good. So if you're interested in any of that, check out my website at tylerschwartzdance.com. Yeah. I just did like 3 or 4 workshops in a row in March. So April, I'm actually not doing too many workshops. It's just work here in Chicago. So it'll be nice to just be in one spot for a little bit. But yeah, I do. So if that at all interests you, give me a shout out for sure. Real Rhythm 2? Question mark. You can find information about Real Rhythm at realrhythm.dance. All right. Thanks, Indian Post. All right. We'll see you next time, next week. I think we might do the live stream a little bit earlier. We're gonna test out maybe an hour earlier. See how the waters go that way. Yeah. But I'm gonna wrap things up, I think. So if you're not already a supporter of the channel or a subscriber, I would highly recommend to hit the subscribe button. There's one up there. Looks like this. Hit that. And hit the like button, because if you hit the like button, the YouTube algorithm sends my videos to more people that are looking up Irish dance stuff. So for all those out there that want to learn Irish dancing and whatnot, and yeah, so my stuff will go out more. So that helps the algorithm. So hit the like on this video, subscribe if you haven't, and if you'd like to support the channel further, if you like what we're doing here and the videos on the channel and all that stuff, I have a Patreon where you can be a patron of the channel for just $3 a month. And what that does is it just allows me to spend more time each week on videos on this type of stuff, editing videos and spending an hour and a half each week doing live streams. It's a bit time intensive, and you know, I still got to pay the bills and all that stuff. So any extra additional support goes a long way, and I'm very thankful. Let's read some of. Where is it? So our Patreon members: Rob, Bessie, Mashka, Catherine, Timo, Ian, Vit, Helena, Chloe, Fluff, my favorite name of that group. And my channel members: Kathleen, Greg, Kathy. Thank you so much. Thank you for the support of the channel. And thank you all for tuning in. This is always fun. We're doing some good things here on the channel, bringing more Irish dancing to YouTube, making it more accessible to everybody. Yeah, thank you all for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.